Hello, this is John, host of Mgtow's Freedom. The one and only host, the real host, the first original, and probably ever will be host of Mgtow's Freedom. I want to say hello to everybody and thank you for commenting on all these videos, for participating, for sharing them. It's been great. This channel is a huge success, and I like to believe that as Mgtow men going our own way, that we're not just talking to each other, but that new men are finding their way to these channels and wondering, what the fuck is all this about? You know, they're having a problem with women, and then they're discovering that there's something in place for them already to help them understand, to cope with, to deal with, a support system. And that's what Mgtow is turning out to be here on YouTube and other social media. It's a way for us to help other men realize the fucking disaster we're in when it comes to women. And one of those disasters I want to bring up right now is the comparison. The comparison of the Old West prostitute to the modern feminist gold digger. Now, first, let's kind of define terms. What is the Old West prostitute? What was she doing? Well, she was selling sex for gold, right? Gold miners went out and mined or dredged or panned, but they were gold diggers, right? And Old West prostitutes, they wanted money from the gold diggers. That made them gold-digging whores. Today we have gold-digging whores, but they're much more sophisticated. And rather than just taking $5 or $10 from a miner, they want half of your shit. And they go about doing things. So when we look at Old West whores, right, and modern whores, there are differences and there are similarities, but I think we can see a progression in the way that they've gotten to where they've gotten. So the Old West gold digging whore, I look at her, that prostitute, and I say, well, fuck, at least she was honest about it. She came right out and said, I want some money and I'll give you some pussy. And a guy had a choice. He could say, well, I'm interested in some pussy, or I don't think so. I'm not going to give my money to you. It's just pussy, and I don't feel like losing it, right? Today, men with the modern gold-digging whore, he is shamed, he is guilted into taking a woman. He's socially manipulated and told that he has to have a woman, and therefore he needs to support her, and give her a place to live, and buy her everything she wants. And ultimately, he has to marry her. Right? That is the system that we face today as men with these gold-digging whores. At least in the Old West, they were honest about it, and the relationship started at the exchange of money, and it finished when he said, see you later, bitch, I'm done with you. Right? And that was the end of it. Today, it's not that way. Today, it is a long, drawn-out process where the man is milked. He's insured the woman that he's going to continue to provide for her, and then she leaves him, takes half his shit, and uses the court system to take everything she can from him and continue to be paid. Continue to be paid by him even after services are no longer rendered. In fact, she goes about making his life miserable with constant threats, more guilt, more shame, destroying his life. It's terrible. When I look at the modern feminist and the ancient gold-digging whore, she is a much better woman in comparison. Much better woman in comparison. But let's face it, no one really wants either. No one does. Who wants a filthy, disgusting prostitute from the Old West? Well, she's a whore, right? But so are they today. They're nasty, filthy whores, but we're told that they're beautiful and that they're desirable and that we should take care of them. No one ever said it's your duty to take care of those prostitutes down at the saloon or over at the brothel. But women today, they use every power within their means to convince men that we need to take care of them. And then they act like whores. But why? What's one of the things that made the Old West prostitute so undesirable? Well, she was probably crass, right? She knew she was a prostitute. She was probably unskilled and uneducated, right? Kind of dirty. Well, so are women today. The Old West prostitute, she slept with a different guy several times a day. all the time, always trying to make money that way. Well, so do gold-digging whores today. They're on the cock carousel. They'll fuck everyone and everything they can, as long as they get what they want out of the relationship. They get his car, they get his house, they get him to pay for things, give her gifts, take her on vacations. They're both undesirable when you look at them that way. You know, the women today are not ladies. They're not beautiful traditional women, right? That are at least semi-desirable. No, today they are thieves with push-up bras and fancy makeup. But both are undesirable. Men didn't fall head over heels in love with a prostitute in the Old West. But today, in order to get from a woman what a man thinks he's supposed to want, right? He's tricked into wanting it, and then he has to go head over heels and prove how worthy he is. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? A man has to prove how worthy he is for a woman today to give her love to him. That's just fucking asinine. Would you expect that you would have to go into a whorehouse, shower her with gifts, take her out for dinner, buy her everything she wants just to get what you wanted from an Old West whore? But that's what you have to do today. You have to prove yourself to them before they'll reach down and lift you up to their level. That's bullshit. You have the money. You're the man. You have the penis. Right? Just like the gold-digging old Westerner, the miner, today you are the gold digger, the man who goes out and builds and extracts a fortune from his life that he earns and he makes. And there's a whore right there saying, oh, you have to earn me. You have to go above and beyond just to give me what I want, to prove your worthiness for me. It's completely backwards. Women should be bending over backwards, kissing our ass and sucking our dick and proving how worthy they are of us. In the Old West, they had it right. The prostitutes went to where prostitutes were at, and when men were ready for them, they went in there. And the women had to prove, the gold-digging whores of the Old West had to prove to the men who were there to get laid that they were worthy of them. They had to look as nice as they could. They had to dress as nice as they could and impress those men in order to get them upstairs into a bed to take their money. Today it's the other way around. We're supposed to be on our knees and kissing women's ass just so we can hand over our fucking paycheck. Not just $10, the whole fucking thing. You know, it's a fucking sham what has happened today. And I know what happened. They killed prostitution. Old, dried, smelly cunts like Carrie Nation and all of the Victorian prudes that were part of the early women's rights movement. They destroyed prostitution so that men had no choice but to find women. The Old West prostitutes, at least they were honest. They were only good for one thing, and that was fucking. That was it. They were honest about it, and they did their job, and they got their fee, and they went on their way. Today, the modern woman, the feminist gold-digging whore, it's a very sophisticated game she plays. She thinks she's a man, but she's got a woman's body. And so she uses tricks to get the man to give her everything she wants, until ultimately she gets marriage. Now, she doesn't marry the first man she runs into, not like a good traditional woman might. Instead, she's on the cock carousel. She's fucking and trying to find the guy that's going to fit the bill. Ultimately, she finds the guy that has the most money, looks like the best deal for her, and she tells him how much she loves him. The Old West whore didn't have to tell you she loved you. She just had to be sexy and spread her legs. The modern gold-digging whore, right? She has to trick him into thinking she's really worth it, and then trick him into giving everything, until ultimately she gets to marry him. Ultimately, she gets to take all his shit in the divorce. Everything she can. How many times have I heard the phrase, I took him to the cleaners, right? She fucking stole everything she could from him and punished him. Gold-digging whores in the Old West, they weren't into punishing their men. They wanted to have sex, get paid, and then have him come back. They were nice to him about it. Today's gold-digging whores are rotten. Rotten to the fucking core. Right? They'll use guilt and shame to make a man do what they want. They'll dress up beautiful in order to trick him, and then once they get in the relationship, they stop doing what he wants and still demand all the money. I'm sure if a man in the Old West went to see his whore and he's like, hey, where's the fucking makeup? Where's the lingerie? Where's the perfume? I'm not going to fuck you. I'm not going to pay you money because you haven't done your job. And it's done. Done. Right? And then she's going to scratch her head and go, didn't wear lingerie, makeup, or perfume, and that's what he likes. I guess I better fucking behave or I'm not going to get money. Today's woman doesn't have to do that. She lures him in like a fucking black widow into her web and then spins it fucking around him tight. And then convinces him he's not good enough for her and he has to try harder.